Hello everyone, my name is Mariana Zazueta Inzunza, and in this video, I am going to share a summary of some of the main psychological learning theories and how I've applied them into my teaching practice. Learning theories help us understand how students learn, grow, and connect with knowledge. Each one offers a different perspective. And as teachers, we often mix them to create the best learning experience possible. Today, I will talk about six key theories. For number one, we have behaviorism. Number two, neo behaviorism. Number three, operant and social conditioning. Number four, social learning. Number five, social critical learning. And number six, meaningful learning. Behaviorism focuses on observable behaviors, basically, what students do, not what they think. It's all about stimulus and response. For example, when I teach English vocabulary, I use positive reinforcement. I praise students who pronounce words correctly or complete their activities on time. This makes them feel proud and motivates others to participate too. This theory, developed by John B. Watson and B.F. Skinner, reminds me that students respond best to clear expectations and consistent feedback. It's simple but powerful. Neo-behaviorism built on behaviorism but adds a cognitive touch. Theorists like Edward Tolman believed that learners create mental maps and set goals that guide their actions. In my class, I apply this when I help students set learning goals. For example, I want to learn 10 new words this week. This shows that learning is not just reacting, but also thinking, planning, and motivation. Operant and social conditioning from Skinner is about learning through consequences, behaviors that are rewarded or repeated, and those that are not tend to fade away. For instance, I give points or stickers when students participate actively or when their classmates need help. Social conditioning adds another layer. It's about how society and culture shape behavior. Students learn how to act in a group, respect others, and follow class norms because they see what is accepted and what isn't. So I use both to create a positive classroom climate where effort and cooperation are very recognized. For social learning theory, according to Albert Bandura, learning happens by observing and imitating others. Students watch their peers, teachers, or even media figures and learn through behaviors through modeling. In my classroom, I model enthusiasm and curiosity. For example, I show excitement when reading a story or solving a problem. My students often mirror that energy. And I also use peer modeling. When one student explains an idea clearly, others tend to learn faster from them. This theory reminds me that my actions teach just as much as my words. For social critical learning, inspired by Paulo Freire, social critical learning sees education as a way to transform society and empower students. It's not only about learning facts, but also thinking critically and questioning unfair situations. For example, when we discuss topics like environmental care or kindness, I encourage students to reflect on how their choices affect others. I love using group discussions and project based learning where students share opinions, listen to one another, and work collaboratively. This theory helps me teach with purpose, making learning meaningful beyond the classroom. For the next one is meaningful learning, proposed by David Asubel. Meaningful learning happens when students connect new knowledge to what they already know. I always start my lessons by asking questions like, what do you already know about this? Or have you seen something like this before? That way, students activate prior knowledge and make connections instead of just like memorizing. For example, when teaching the water cycle, I asked them to describe what they see when it rains or when a puddle dries. Suddenly, science feels familiar, and that's when meaningful learning takes into action. For my conclusion, to sum up, each learning theory adds something valuable. Behaviorism helps build discipline and motivation. Neo behaviorism reminds us that goals and internal processes matter. Operant and social conditioning teach us to use reinforcement wisely. Social learning highlights the power of example and observation. Social critical learning encourages reflection and change. Meaningful learning ensures that understanding lasts. In my teaching, I try to combine all these approaches, balancing structure, motivation, social interaction, and a lot of reflection. Because at the end of the day, teaching is not just about sharing knowledge, it's about inspiring learning that transforms lives. Thank you for watching. I hope this reflection helps you to see how theory and practice truly works together in the classroom.